is going to be, again, the potential for more slipping and sliding going on as we go into the early morning hours. We've been pretty lucky with the temperatures as they have been, but as of right now, we are going to continue to see the potential of some possible problems out there overnight, especially the way the temperatures are, and we'll get to that coming up here in just a little bit. Let me make certain audio is working at this time, and we are good to go. This is Weather Overtime for Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, January 15th, and we're kind of wrapping up the potential of anything involving the moisture out there. The road conditions, again, are going to be the prime concern for overnight. The red indicates where we could be seeing some icy, slow travel out there. A lot of problems into Middle Tennessee earlier tonight and Western Tennessee. We'll take a look at those conditions into and around the area coming up here in just a little bit. Now, road temperatures, that is where we are seeing the main problem. In Chattanooga, temperatures have just dropped into about the mid to upper 20s. Same thing for northwest Georgia and back into around northeastern Alabama. And again, these numbers are going to be continuing to drop as the colder air begins to move our direction. So we have got a pretty decent amount of cold air on the way, and that means whatever's out there on the roadways is going to be freezing and just basically causing a lot of problems into and around much of the area. That colder air coming in from the northwest. By the way, welcome to Weather Overtime. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. If you haven't been tuning in for this, this is our video weather blog from Chattanooga, Tennessee, keeping you updated as to what is going on across much of the area. Visibility, not too much of a problem at this time. Worse back over toward I-40, Knoxville, Maryville, in that particular area. We are seeing a few power outages reported, 7% up the road in Ray County, fractions of a percent more closer toward Chattanooga. Columbia, Tennessee, back to about 2.25%. So we're not getting a lot, but we are seeing, again, some activity percentage for that, kind of fluctuating over the last couple of hours. And the amount of people without power, not the night to lose power out there, so I would really heartily recommend charging any devices you have before you go to bed tonight, just to be on the safe side. Looking at about 6,000 people statewide without power just within about a couple of hours in Tennessee, and about 1,000 being reported from earlier tonight around parts of Georgia, but it looks like they're working on that for now. Wind chills are going to be the really bad problem out there. Let me just stop this real quick before we reset. We've got wind chills of 0 back up close to and north of Monteagle on I-24. 1 degree above 0 for a wind chill back toward Columbia. We're looking at some very cold temperatures coming our direction throughout the rest of the evening, and the amount of snow we've picked up has been heaviest back up to the north of Hamilton County, southern Meigs, southern Ray County, around Bledsoe County, just north of that area, Sequatchie County picking up, looks like somewhere around the possibility of about an inch just over that in the last hour in that solid blue area. So that is where we're looking at the worst of the worst for right now. Taking a look at radar, we do not have anything in the way of huge amounts of moisture. We have less and less as we go throughout the rest of the evening, but we will be seeing the potential for this moisture to continue for quite some time. Let me spread this out here. Going from the metro area, the purple indicates where we have, again, a mixture of precipitation, and the blue indicates snow, and this is not what it was just a couple hours ago. But unfortunately, there are still areas where we are picking up more potential of precipitation, and it's going to be off and on throughout the next several hours. So be prepared for more wet conditions, and if you're driving, could be, again, the frozen stuff adhering to your windshields. That is going to be the worst of the worst concern, but we will be getting back to some improved conditions as we go into early tomorrow. So we're looking at that possibility of seeing some wet conditions out there, and much of what we're looking at for right now is coming in from the southwest. It's not a lot, but it is just enough to continue the winter weather advisory in the purple shaded counties. That is, again, for the combination of any type of mode of winter weather out there. Rain, freezing rain, sleet, graupel, snow, anything like that going on here. Looking back to the north, Hamilton County and Chattanooga, winter storm warning has been extended until tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock, and that does include, again, Hamilton County and Chattanooga, northern Georgia, northeast Alabama, all of southeast Tennessee. This pink shaded county area, this is going to be the worst of the worst as we go into tonight, where we could see, again, some major problems with that out there. Much of what we're seeing for the time being is, again, the opportunity for this moisture to come down to the surface where the temperatures are just now starting to freeze over. So a lot of this, even if it hits the ground and melts, it's a good possibility we're going to be seeing a lot of freezing on this coming up later on this evening. Now, taking a look outdoors around the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network, around Coolidge Park on the North Shore, we see, again, a lot of snow on the ground. Definitely not enough to build a snowman, so nothing showing up there. And the cloud cover still out there, a little bit of the rain, snow, sleet mixture coming down. You can see in those areas here with the Chattanooga Theater Center Speedy's Total Car Care camera. Travel for tonight by TDOT is not recommended. They sent out a tweet and a post earlier. We posted that just a little while ago, so you can see a little bit more about how dangerous things have become out there. Bailey's Heating and Air Network, heating and air services on the downtown Chattanooga camera. You can kind of see, pointing off to the east, the ridge is over here, and I-24, you can just almost see the lights of the traffic going up and down slope, and it is moving. So far, so good. Slow, not at speed, no question about that, but that's good. So as of right now, with the temperatures hovering just around freezing, numbers are, again, not doing too bad out there for the amount of concern for slowdowns. The big problem we've got is kind of twofold at this time. Notice the travel on the Plainview Outdoor Advertising camera. Highway 153, a lot of spray being kicked up behind the vehicles as they pass by the camera, so the roadways here are wet. The bridges and the overpasses, again, that have the air surrounding the bridges. The areas around where the earthworks here hold up the bridge and insulate it, the area here where it's wet is not going to freeze that quickly, but where the bridges have that air surrounding it all over the place, these bridges and overpasses are going to ice over into overnight as the temperatures drop. Now, again, hopefully staying on the warm side here as we see mainly just wet snow, slush, and rainfall. It's been just enough to keep the temperatures a couple of degrees above freezing in the last couple of hours. So a lot of the earth-protected roadways are going to stay wet. But I would watch these areas. Highway 64 here, not showing any slowdown, not seeing any signs of fishtailing as the cars are taking it nice and slow. But I would be very careful out there. Add to that, while I'm on the subject, if you don't have to travel, I know a lot of schools are getting out for tomorrow because of the weather. If you do have to travel tomorrow, try to plot your route ahead where you're going to have a relatively flat travel area. Going home tonight, I'm not looking forward to that. Heading north out of Chattanooga over the river, that could be some problems there. But if you can stay on a level route as much as possible, which around here with the ridges out there going up and down, if you hit an icy patch on that downward slope, you may have a lot of long conversations with your insurance agent. But if you plot your course out around the area to where you can see a little bit more about what may be heading your direction or a good direction that you can take, using, again, the maps out there, Google Maps, I use this a lot to be able to show, again, the terrain, and that can help you kind of plot your route to see what's going on out there. We've got a lot of very large amounts of orange around Monteagle in both directions, very red in all directions here as temperatures, again, well below freezing. Same thing around Flat Top Mountain, going all the way back up to Spencer, past McMinnville, Sparta, and heading up toward I-40. We've got orange and red showing up there. Mostly green conditions around Chattanooga, Hamilton County, and the rest of the area for right now, down into Georgia and parts of Alabama. But it is not, let me go out a little farther, metro area of Nashville, Memphis, between Potts Camp, Mississippi, Fulton down toward Tupelo, around the Birmingham area, not bad, but back into Mississippi and south out of the Mid-South area around Memphis. That's where we're picking up a decent amount of that slow travel coming up. And it's a good bet that we'll be sticking around with a lot of that into the overnight hours. So again, that could be just a bit of an issue there. Let's take a quick look at the area over toward Chattanooga Red Wolves Stadium and switch that out. Very light traffic, and that's very good to see. We still have mist and drizzle and sleet and freezing rain coming down, so temperatures a few thousand feet up are a little bit different than what we've been seeing for a while with that radar picture. So lots of spray being kicked up at this point. I would guess that areas like this tomorrow morning, if the temperatures drop low enough and chill off those roadway surfaces, we could be looking at a lot of parking lots in the morning and a lot of slow travel. So if you have to travel tomorrow, allow for a lot of extra time and try to plot out that route so you can see a little bit more about what's going on before you head out and about someplace, to make certain that you are not going to get stuck in a particular situation someplace where it's going to involve walking or waiting for several hours, where people are going to have to come pick you up at some point. The moisture, again, at this time is pretty much almost done, so we're seeing not too much to worry about now. Most of what we're looking at off to the south and west is doing a good job of kind of tapering off, so there's not as much as there was earlier, but there are still several hours worth of drips and drizzles that are going to be coming up through parts of the area as all this heads back on over to the east. That is where we'll be seeing the more potential of this into overnight. So we're not done with the moisture totally, but we're getting there. It's just going to take a little while longer to get to that point for right now, so we won't be seeing again a lot of it, but enough to cause a lot of problems in the morning. So definitely want to check out Chip Chapman's forecast into the bright and early morning hours. James Smith from North Red Bank, welcome to the show. Hopefully you're indoors and not doing anything out there in the way of major traveling for tonight. We do have, again, the passing storm system stirring up all the moisture here. And then as we go into the next several days, it doesn't look like much, but back to the west of us, well to the west of us, around portions of the Rio Grande and into the Intermountain West, this is our next storm system that will be slowly making its way across the country and heading our direction into Thursday. So this will be our next chance of rain mixed with snow. Doesn't look to be quite as bad as what we've been seeing here, but it does look like we will be seeing the potential of more activity coming up. Low temperatures early tomorrow morning, Tuesday, single digits into the teens, and then high temperatures tomorrow, nowhere above, not even close to freezing, back in the teens and lower 20s for highs. And then the big punch of the colder air makes its way down. Single-digit lows for Wednesday morning, including some temperatures near zero in parts of the area. We might come close to freezing on Wednesday afternoon, especially south of Chattanooga, but I think that will be our best bet. We'll get some sunshine in here. That'll be nice. So maybe the roadway surfaces will thaw out a little bit, but then as we go into very early Thursday morning, we're back in the teens again, and that means everything flash freezes, and we could see some black ice out there, and that is very much on the tricky side. So for right now, that's where we're seeing some problems. Notice Knoxville, below zero temperatures coming up through there. Our next storm system arrives late Thursday evening. Looks like it's going to be moving in just about the time the temperatures are right about freezing in Chattanooga, but once again, notice as this system gets closer to us, blue is snow, green is rain, purple and pink is that mixed potential right there, and that's what we're looking at all over again. The good news at this time is that this is a much more compact, much less moisture coming our way, so that's good news, but there will be another potential of some rainfall coming on through the area, and that means also the possibility of some more slick streets as we go toward Friday morning. So again, please keep that in mind as you go into the next couple of days. Now, after that, we do have some good news. It's not entirely much, but we do see signs of a warming trend coming through last couple of weeks of the month. It looks like warmer air is going to be heading up from the south, and that's going to be overspreading most of the area. So now it's going to be cold. Next couple of weeks, we start to see the warm air pop back up, and that should be helping us into the next several days out there. So that is going to be the good news for us at this time. Through the rest of the night, again, numbers not really doing all that well. The view from Island Cove Marina and Resort, Tennessee Highway 58, you might be able to see a few lights passing through there. There's not many people on the roadways. That's good news. But there are some areas of sprinkles still settling on the camera lens out across the area. And through tonight, well, the numbers really just fall back off once again. And we see numbers back in the lower 20s as we go through the evening hours and into tomorrow. Sorry about the fall off of the data there. We'll get that fixed as we go into tomorrow. There's some passing lights of a motorist heading south on 58, so few people out and about for tonight. We do have, again, temperatures at the Chattanooga airport just above freezing, and we'll see numbers dropping into the next few hours. We've been seeing that over the last couple of hours, very close to freezing, but hopefully not too bad for right now. Before we go to the 7-day forecast, let's take a bit of a spin around the area and show you what we're looking for. This from I-24 through the construction zone at McBrien. I believe this is looking back to the west toward the ridge, and lots of people still out, but nowhere near as many as there were earlier. Again, the bridges and overpasses will be the prime concern out there. I-24 and Moccasin Bend, mainly wet conditions on the TDOT SmartWay camera. Traffic is moving, but it is moving very slowly and definitely not at speed. When you see that much spray being kicked up, that's a bit of a problem. US 27, Tennessee 27 at Morrison Springs, a lot of snow in the median and on the side of the roadways. It looks like the roads at this time not totally covered over, and traffic, again, is moving. I would be very careful about heading down that direction and dropping into those valleys, because that's where you're going to be seeing the slowdowns out there, and that's where the fishtailing begins. Not moving that quickly. Whoever these vehicles are, that's very good. Looks like an emergency vehicle. They're out keeping an eye on things. From downtown around Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, the authorities had this section, I believe that's North 27 here, going over that area. This, again, is where we're seeing the problems. Notice the spray being kicked up by the vehicles up here. Note that when they hit this area of that overpass, it changes color a little bit, so it becomes a little bit more frozen. The water is locked in place here, so we see that changeover. So as you approach the bridge and there's a car in front of you, watch that car as it goes over the bridge layer, because you might be looking at some fishtailing going on, and that again could be a bit of a problem. Sorry about the lag in the video there, but that again could help save your life on that. Some spray out there, but it looks like the bridge surface is cooling down a lot faster than the road over it. Back over the river, looking north from the river from Manufacturers Road, seeing the lights of the approaching traveling cars, not that many people out there, and the roadways appear to be still wet, but that could change at just about any point in time, so please keep that in mind if you're going to be heading out the door anytime tonight and into very early tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at the 7-day forecast before we close things down. We're going to be a little late tonight on News 12 thanks to the football game being on earlier tonight. The Steelers taking on the Buffalo Bills. So hopefully you had a chance to watch that from a nice warm living room couch someplace. Some of that moisture will continue overnight into tomorrow morning, but drips and drizzles mainly. Highs tomorrow below freezing. High temperatures on Wednesday with the sunshine. Yeah, we might make it over that, but that's going to be about it for right now. James Smith on Facebook, thank you very much for the compliment. Just doing my best to get the weather across and let people know what's going on, but thank you very much for checking in here. Above freezing again on Thursday, and then we see Thursday into Friday, the temperatures drop into the evening, and that's where we see our next best potential of maybe some snow showers taking place with that next system coming in. After that, after a decently chilly start to the weekend, lower 30s there, we start to see a bit of a warm up, and hopefully that trend continues into the last few days of January. We'll see how far that goes, but for right now, some up and down temperatures, some below freezing, some above freezing. So if there's any moisture left over here and the temperatures are cold enough, be prepared for some more slick spots, especially those exposed ridgeways, those bridges and overpasses that are exposed to the very cold air. That's where you're going to see the worst slick spots out there, and that's where you're going to be seeing the slowdowns and probably most of the accidents taking place through the area there. Chip Chapman will be in very early tomorrow morning to keep an eye on things, to let you know more about what is going on. And of course, I'll be in to let you know more about what's happening. That brutal cold air is on the way, and that's going to cause some problems for being outdoors. So definitely with the kids, I know a lot of classes have called off class for the time being. So if you would like, if you're in charge of a school, church group, anything of that nature at this point in time, you can go to our website and you can find out more about how to call in the delays out there. We do not take email or phone calls because those can be spoofed. But if you would like to go to our website, you can go to wdef.com/weather/closings-delays. You can just go to the weather menu and you'll see it pop up right there. So you can just, if you're in charge of a church, a school, principal, superintendent, anything like that, you can fill out all the details. I would read as many of these as I could, but we're already going on 20 minutes, and I got to get ready for the news at 11 here. To say the least, we have several closings out there. Hamilton County Schools closed Tuesday. Hamilton County Juvenile Court, Hamilton County Clerk closed and canceled there. Numerous other classes on there, and that is just the A through M variety. There's a whole bunch more going all the way down to W. So if you'd like to check and see where all the closings are located, they're on our page. Go to News 12's website, wdef.com/weather, and you can see more there. We're going to go ahead and close things down for tonight. And again, Chip Chapman will have more in your forecast coming up tomorrow morning. And I'll be keeping an eye on things, providing the internet and the power lasts from home. We'll see what's going on there. And don't forget to tune in bright and early, 5 a.m. News 12, 5 a.m. Eastern Time on News 12. And Chip Chapman will have your forecast there. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek, live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you can, stay off the roadways. And again, let all the emergency crews out there have a nice night. Hopefully not anything to be responded to for this evening. And keep it tuned to News 12 in the morning. If you absolutely have to get out, be informed. This is the place for local weather and roadway information with time-saver traffic. We'll keep you informed so you can stay safe. And whatever you're doing out there, remember, let's be careful out there. We'll have more coming up later. And again, don't forget to join us at wdef.com/weather. Thanks for joining us for Monday evening, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 15th.